Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel, and we often talk about the problems that arise from some updates sometimes in Windows updates, and this is why you don't rush anything, you don't push anything. We see that 24H2 now has tons of blockers, but one of the questions today, and it's a question that is of course very relevant because the average user, most users aren't tech savvy, don't know much more than using the interface to do what they want, go on the internet, email. So when things go wrong, this is where the problem arises of what do you do? The question today was specific to 24H2 and the problem it has with the network adapters. And the question was what happens to somebody that's not tech savvy, that doesn't know much and doesn't have technical side to computers, has no more internet doing this. Well, that's where, unfortunately, a lot of them will either go to somebody they know that's good or call a tech guy. Over the years, as I was fixing computers, one of the things that I noticed a lot is the number of times when the problem is on, either Windows, which honestly is not that often. The problem most of the time that I've seen was way more on the third-party software or hardware pushes that had issues, and they weren't related to Microsoft Windows that often, honestly. But you get to the point where, you got this little lady, or even guys will try to fix it more than women in general. I would guess that it's probably still like that today. But overall, what happens is they call the tech guy for a blunder from a manufacturer. So it could be, my printer stopped working since they've installed a new driver. Yeah, the driver has a flaw, and you got to fix that. Or, this part of my PC doesn't work, or interactions. There's a lot of interactions that we haven't seen, necessarily happen, or we don't know why. And one of them, a lot of the times that I've seen, for example, Microsoft Office problems. So you get to Word or Excel and it gives you an error message. Don't know why. And once again, you look at what's the problem and you realize that it's not Office that's the problem. It's Adobe that installed a new, update for a Adobe Acrobat, for example, and it will, by doing so, add an extension to Microsoft Office because there's an integration with Office and Adobe and all of that. And that extension is actually a problem. It has a flaw. So you've got to figure out that Word is crashing because of a Adobe add-on, and that's way over the head of most people. And even for a tech guy, you go there, you see an error message in one software, but it's not the software that's the problem. It's that other program that they have that does that error message. It's a crazy, crazy thing to try to fix all of those. And yeah, the average user is useless in front of a lot of these problems. We see a lot of, I've seen a lot of people over the years, even on clients that I had back in the day, mention that they moved on to Macs and have less issues. And the problem is, it's probably true for a very simple reason, is that a Mac is, the software, the hardware is all fine-tuned by Apple. And so by design, it's supposed to be less of a problem. When people say they feel secure on a Mac, well, for many years, the thing was the amount of malware available, of course, any hackers, anyone out there will create malware for Windows, because it's going to hit a maximum amount of people if they're able to infect PCs. So they were ignoring Macs, not because they're more secure. That ain't true. That is a big, big lie, saying that a Mac computer is more, secure. Just like Linux. All Linux users saying, oh, well, Linux is so secure. It's not. If you'd have the same amount of malware that was available for Linux and for Mac, you'd have roughly the same percentage of, people having malware on their computers, whatever platform it is. But the home user is often left with problems and having to pay a tech guy or having to pay someone because of blunders of manufacturers, unfortunately. And that is probably a very high percentage. To give you an idea also of how the culture of Windows must have viruses all the time is 99.5% of all problems that I fixed in Windows PCs, where the client, the person that called me, said, well, I probably have a virus because I have a problem with my PC. Well, 99.5% of all of that was never malware. People actually have no malware except for those that do things they shouldn't. It's as simple as that. When I hear people saying, well, Windows is so insecure, it's not. It's as secure as any other operating system. And people don't get malware. And they don't get malware because most people don't do the bad things that you need to do to get the malware. It's that's the way it is. All of those that I had to fix and either reinstall, or in some cases where they just didn't want to reinstall, had to clean a PC for malware. Well, they all did something that shouldn't have been done. So they were all people that were either downloading illegal movies, illegal music, software with cracks, stuff like that, going to porn sites. That's the majority of where people got stuff. And that was the small percentage of people that use their PC to do that. It's as simple as that. So it rarely was somebody that, just uses a PC that got malware. And it's still the same today. So that's why, I always say antivirus is not important, because it doesn't detect a lot of the new stuff. And what you do is really what makes keeps you safe, much more than anything else. But, yep, to sum it up, the user is, the average user is kind of a hostage of all of this when problems arise. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.